Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 68 of Aokana,蒼の彼方のフォーリズム. I feel like we're getting pretty close to the end of Rika's route. I feel like the main section of her route is closely tied to, how should I say this, this tournament. Sorry for the noise. It's closely tied to this tournament, and I feel like as soon as this tournament's over, we'll have like a epilogue, and then it will finish. So I feel like this is gonna be the main part, because we are obviously fighting her rival in a sense. So last time we finally started the autumn/fall tournament. And we didn't watch the first match, but we watched the second one. But the first match was between Mashiro and Rika. I'm pretty sure it's Rika. Just check. Rika, yep, Rika. Rika Okoze. Mashiro's so-called rival. Mashiro unfortunately lost, but it was understandable with her shift in playstyles. Then it was due to the way the bracket is. It was Rika versus Rika. And at first it was trading point to point, but then Rika was able to get the upper hand and fully dominate afterwards, scoring it 8-3, I think it was, at the end. So with that finished, the second round finished, the third round, which we expect it to be, against Kurobuchi. But again, like I mentioned last time, we don't know what the bracket looks like, the tournament bracket looks like, so it's hard to say where exactly everybody is. So it could be this round, it could be next round. All we know is they were supposedly quite close together, close to each other. I'm pretty sure it was the third round, but we'll see. But I feel like there's going to be a bit of an intermission now, an interlude, like a little bit of a break. A lot of talking and discussing strategies and like that. And then probably in the middle, we'll probably finally get into the battle. But yeah. Feel like that battle is going to last quite a bit, because I feel like this is the main battle for this route, I guess you could call it. So yeah, this is just after Rika was taken away by Kaneko. So let's see what's going to happen now. You can say that again. They're all types of people, I guess. Now then, next up is... Okay, so yeah, that was the third round. Probably. Kurobuchi's bat match is next. I wonder how she intends to play it. Okay, so the way they're playing it is that rather than how I assumed it to be, them being on the right hand side of the bracket, they're on the left hand side of the bracket, and Kurobuchi is on the right hand side. Okay. I'm sure something in her past made her this way. I even got a glimpse of that during her conversation with Rika yesterday, but... thinking about how Kurobuchi uses negative emotions to get people sickens me. Kurobuchi made it through, just like we thought. She didn't do anything that could result in disqualification, just as I thought. I realized that her main purpose right now is to destroy Rika. So it's pointless for Kurobuchi to risk it and get disqualified early. So she would probably play it more legally, I guess you could say. The way she's done all tournament is touch her opponent on the first line in her first match, which was taken as a rule violation and cost her 1 point.
今のところ 目立った動きはありませんでしたけど。
We can't say she hasn't done anything at all. Her floats still bother me. They always seem to be in positions that benefit Kurobuchi. If I recall, floats are these things that come off the player's arms. It's enough to raise suspicion, but not enough to investigate. It's likely she's controlling her floats. But that's not the reason Kurobuchi's winning. Her peculiar, overwhelming presence is her main weapon, and perhaps her peculiar world view is too. Anyone who gets caught up in that loses. They practically self-destruct.
どうして大きな反則はしないのでしょうか?
I saw it quite obviously, but she's probably saving it for you. Yeah.
私と試合をするため。
If there's someone you really want to beat, then you don't want to show them your trump card, right? I wouldn't really call it a trump card, but yeah.
見せたら勝つ可能性が減りますからね。
Exactly. Kurobuchi's not doing anything special here. Rika lets out a low laugh, then pants strangely. Oh, what's up?
さっちゃんの作戦にはまっていると分かってはいるんですけど、少し怖いです。
I'm not surprised. That's what she's best at.
怖さを含めて、それを全部。
Sorry, I thought it was more to it. Rika looks at the ground for a moment.
さっちゃんの全部を楽しもうと思います。
Okay, they just continued the last sentence onto the song because I was wondering, was there more to it? But yeah, no, that's just how Japanese works. If you really feel that way, you'll be fine.
そう言いたいんですけど。
Rika's trembling slightly. Rika?
ごめんなさい。すぐに止めますので。
She says that, but the trembling doesn't stop. I have to say something to motivate her. But as I'm searching for the right words...
何を情けないことを言っているのですか?
Masaya or Rika? Which one's the card? They're both looking like it. SunaeVN suddenly appears by our sides.
佐藤院先輩?
How long have you been there?
いつからとかそういうのは本当にどうでもいいのです。そして怖いとか怖くないとかそういうのも全然関係ありませんわ。
関係ないんですか?
あるかもしれませんけどありませんわ。
SunaeVN speaks in a forceful tone. This isn't like her.
いいですか? 私は黒渕かすみのことは好きではありません。ですからあなたにやっつけてほしいのです。
やっつける?
Yeah, it could be because Rika knows who Kurobuchi is. That's why she's, I guess you could call it a bit hesitant about it.
どうやってやっつけるのかにも注文がありますわ。本当なら黒渕かすみを脳震盪にしてしまうのが一番なのですけど。
But that's extreme.
ですけども、そのような復讐を私が望むわけがありませんわ。
But you just said giving her concussion was the most preferable method. Weren't you talking about your preference?
だったらどうすればいいんでしょうか?
SunaeVN takes a deep breath.
反則。いえ、この場合はルールと言うべきですわね。ルールは何のためにあると思うかしら?
ルールはその競技を成立させるためにあるんですよね。
If you could use your hands in soccer, then it wouldn't be soccer. If a baseball batter could run to any base he wanted after hitting the ball, then it wouldn't be baseball. Rules are what form sports. What keeps them fair, because viewpoint isn't wrong.
それは結果論ですわ。
Oh, right.
その競技を楽しくプレイするためにルールがあるのです。
They do?
反則になるものはそれがあると楽しくないから排除されるのですわ。
楽しくないから。
黒渕かすみに FC の楽しさを教えてきなさい。
I do feel like that is one way, because I tend to see these types of things quite often in media. It's when there's what is a good one? I don't want to spoil it in a sense, but there's a series called Blue Box, Ao no Hako. It just recently it's busy releasing in an anime. But in the manga, there was a similar situation in a sense. Rival, who somebody you once knew, turned pretty, I wouldn't say petty, but took the wrong turn in sports in a sense. Started going for revenge in a sense, I guess you could say. But once discovering the fun of it again, then they turned around and started to become better. That's why I feel like something similar is here as well, where Kurobuchi took the wrong path once Rika left, and sorry about that. And we just have to show her what Flying Circus was all about again.
反則しない方が楽しいと思える黒渕かすみにしてしまいなさい。
Good grief, I give up. Suddenly the sun just came in and stole my thunder.
わかりました。
いい顔ですわね。
Interesting. You just... Kao this one is. What Kao, if I recall, is face. So that's a nice face. In other words, you have a nice expression. Like she's not afraid. She's not scared. She's not worried. And it's on her face. You can see that she's looking good. So that's the spirit. Sure. Suddenly, sun flashes a fearless smile.
うまくいったその暁には、そうですね。
Suddenly, Sun's hair suddenly flutters behind her in the breeze.
陰の字をあなたに差し上げます。明日からは一ノ瀬院を名乗るのですわ。
Well, I mean, to Satsuin, it's a big thing.
一ノ瀬院？
Even I have to say that. Ichinosein.
そして私はただの佐藤に致し方ありませんわね。
Only one person can have it at a time? Is this supposed to be like some sort of championship belt?
お似合いですわよ、一ノ瀬院。佐藤院ほどではありませんが。
それは遠慮しておきます。
So interesting, here she kind of just politely declines in what she's saying in Japanese.
あら、遠慮なさらなくてもよろしくてよ。
So in English here is perfectly good with the decline. I don't think that's a good idea. It isn't really much of a decline in my opinion. It's more curiosity isn't the right word, but it's not the same as declining in my opinion.
佐藤院さんほどインを上手に扱えないと思いますので。
そう、残念ですわ。試合楽しみにしています。
So.
全力で楽しんできてね、リカ。
I can't remember if she's always called her by her last name or first name. But that did sound like it was the first time she's used it.
どうかしたのかしら、そんな驚いた顔をして。
Yeah, Saruin-san just used Rika's first name.
最後のをもう一度言ってくれませんか？
Saruin-san's notes. Oh, that's all I can read.
楽しんで戻ってきたらまた言って差し上げますわ。はい。日向雅也、一ノ瀬さんのサポートをお願いいたしますわ。
I'll give it everything I've got.
頼みましたわよ。
Saruin-san gives us a powerful smile before leaving, and we watch her walk out of sight.
なんだか勇気が出ました。
Good. Rika won't be playing this much to enjoy it. Wait, sorry? Rika won't be playing this match to enjoy it. Okay, I wasn't reading that right. Instead, her main goal is to teach Kurobuchi how fun flying circuits can be. Maybe that's the kind of motivation she needs to resist all of Kurobuchi's negativity.
私、頑張ります。
I know. It's finally time. Rika and I go through our final checks. There's nothing more I can say. You just need to stretch your stuff. Sorry if I keep mentioning it here and there, but they'reいいことはないし、やるべきことはやってきた。いいことはないし is more like nothing more to say, I think. やるべきことはやってきた。You've done everything you've done. You've done all that you've done up to now, or something along those lines. So you just need to stretch your stuff. I don't like that saying. But, yeah, nothing more I can say is fine. I had no issue with that one. This last one I didn't like.
はい。
Kurobuchi will try and drag you into her own little world.
私は私の世界にですね。
そういうことだ。That is そういうこと。That's... Sorry, I just don't like the bingo thing. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of English terms and words and phrases I don't particularly enjoy using or saying. Bingo is one of them as well. There's quite a few of them, as I mentioned. I look up toward first. Kurobuchi is already hovering around it.
見てますね。
She sure is. Kurobuchi stares down at us. Her mouth is curved into a sinister smile, the corners of her lips raised far higher than a normal person's. However, despite that smile, there's no hint of joy in the eyes as they peer through her long, dark hair. I imagine this is what a beast looks like once it finds its prey. But this lacks an animalistic simplicity. It looks far more ominous. It's more like a witch who's found an unfortunate victim to throw into her cauldron. If you get drawn in, if you fall behind, you'll be swallowed whole by her overwhelming intensity. It won't matter if you're stronger than her. They have the tables turned on you all the same. Remember what Asuka taught you in practice, and what Sadwin-san said to you earlier.
はい。
You can do this, Rika. Now get out there and show her your flying circus. No, our flying circus.
はい。
I think what the refers to with our is referring to just overall flying circus. Because otherwise, just show her your flying circus to me would have been fine. But since he mentioned no, our flying circus, I'm pretty sure it's referring to flying circus as a whole.
よろしくお
Then
願いし
read
ます
that. Rika flies off toward first.
よろしくお願いしますね。
Formalities. I can hear their conversation through Rika's mic. I'm actually quite surprised that they don't. Supposedly they have a mic and earpiece to listen and to speak, but obviously you don't see it, so yeah. At first I thought perhaps that could have been one, but obviously with Kurobuchi not having something similar to that, then probably not.
何でしょうか。
お名前は何でしたか？
She goes in with a cliched line to try and get under Rika's skin.
一ノ瀬リカです。よろしくお願いします。
ああ、そうだった。よく来れたね。これからひどいことされるのに。
Kurobuchi laughs as she stretches out her neck, then leans in towards Rika.
な、あ、し、ん、と、
余計な会話は慎むように。
Kurobuchi's upper body spins, seemingly disconnected from her spine, to face the referee.
何か。
なんでもありません。
And then, with another unnatural spin, she is facing Rika again.
危険してもいいんだよ。怖いよね。怖いよね。だったら逃げちゃえばいい。それ、ねえ。逃げちゃえば？
怖いですけど、楽しいです。
I'm just curious on where they, because Tanoshi is to me is just straight up, it is fun. We're going for a straight little translation, just straight up, it is fun. Tanoshi is fun, and this is more like it is. So, just, I'm scared, but it's fun. So, I'm not too sure. I can understand with the fun being, but I'm having fun in a sense. Like, so I'm going to have fun is a bit pushing it, but it's really, really minor.
そんな強がり言うことに何の意味があるのかな？怪我しちゃう前に逃げたら？楽になるよ。楽になろう。ね？
私、この試合を楽しくしますから、さっちゃんも一緒に楽しく試合をしましょう。
さっちゃんって誰？審判の名前？
名前の話はいいです。楽しい FC をしましょう。
そうだね。ねえ、脳震盪を起こした瞬間ってさ、記憶が飛んじゃうくらい楽しいらしいよ。
That was quite an interesting ending there. was almost like. Let me just say that one more time, so because this might be quite important.
そうだね。ねえ、脳震盪を起こした瞬間ってさ、記憶が飛んじゃうくらい楽しいらしいよ。
So what makes me quite interested with this sentence is she speaks about the problems of concussions, with how all your memories will float away. It's fun that way because there's tanoshi, tonjao kurai. It's like they've just float, so it's fun. But then at the end, she says, "So it seems," or and like it's almost saying, she was this whole sentence almost sounds like she's speaking from experience, and only added the end rashi, like so I hear, like trying to make it sound like she didn't get concussions, but she's heard about what happens with it, but she's only adds it at the end of the sentence where it sounds like she's trying to give an excuse to why it doesn't sound like she knows that she's experienced it. So I feel like she's had a possible run-in with another problematic opponent in her past that has then caused her to get concussed, which would then make her think that way. And that's why perhaps that she's a bit... Maybe that's why she's getting kind of revenge in this sense. I don't know. Let's see.
そうですか。
余計な会話をしない。試合を開始しますよ。
Kurobuchi once again swivels to face the referee.
いつでもどうぞ。
試合の前に彼女の浮き袋をチェックしてもらってもいいですか？
Kurobuchi remains silent as she waves her floats around. And by doing so, she makes a special substance she smeared over her floats vanish. She has given up on being able to use her floats to her advantage in exchange for not being disqualified before the match even starts. Kurobuchi leans forward sharply, glaring at Rika with bloodshot eyes.
つまんないこと気にするんだね。
楽しいことをするには準備が必要ですから。できれば右だけじゃなくて左の浮き袋もお願いします。
Kurobuchi displays a mouth-splitting grin as she continues to glare at Rika and swings her left float upward. Rika checks it, then turns back to the referee.
すみません。もう大丈夫です。
はい、わかりました。
Sorry, I just wanted to mention because, as you know, I'd like to try and be as literal as possible and try to understand why they choose certain words and reasonings behind the translations. One of them, just simple things here again as well, is aha, hi, wakarimashita. It's just yes, I understand, or I wakarimasu is just understand, so I understand. It's like the past tense, like it's yeah, it's simple understand, or like okay, it's all good then. So good to know is a bit not right in a sense. It's not like I'm not too sure because well, I guess with this here it's alright, but it just doesn't feel right. But anyway, it's extra. The referee is clearly confused by the way the two of them are acting, but continues anyway.
set!
So I'm just I mentioned so many times, but just so far it's so interesting. It's just set. And in English it's really sick. Yeah. Anyway. Like another thing is it's not go yet. Okay, I was gonna say like sure it's the English comparison, it's yeah understandable. I've tapped multiple times and but he technically hasn't said they haven't actually started yet because they're waiting for that horn or whistle or whatever it is. It's not go yet. It's just ready, set. That I can understand. That ready, set part. Perfectly fine. But they're not going yet. They haven't started. So that go is completely not needed. In any set on any form, anywhere, I guess you could say. Because they can't go until they've heard their thing. So, and the Japanese hasn't even said go, but yeah. Now they go, of course. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this goes for a little bit. They start by going into low yo-yos at the exact same time. How will Kurobuchi tackle this first test of speed? Both players are using speeder-tuned shoes. Kurobuchi is wearing... Oh, okay, gotta read the Japanese for that one. Bedo no kadu... Chaos. Chaos. Kadu chaos. Kadu chaos. So rather than reading that as a C, it's more like K sound. Kadu chaos. So okay. So Kurobuchi is wearing Kadu Chaos by Invade, the president's favorite brand. They take a little more getting used to than your typical Japanese brand, but once you're accustomed to them, there's a lot of extra you can do with them. Rika is using Maine Coons from Small Groove, a brand that's about as standard as they come. I'm actually curious. Okay, no, that stayed English. Yeah, okay, I was right. Maine Coon. Just had to make sure. Only hers are all-rounders by nature, as attuned to be more like speeder shoes. From what I gathered during the last two matches, I think Kurobuchi is using similar settings. That means she wants the match to primarily focus on speed, but also needs the ability to make intricate movements when necessary. How will things play out from here? One thing actually, I don't know if I mentioned before, but I wonder who Kurobuchi's second is. Because from what I can tell you don't need a second. It's only just advantageous to have a second. So... For now, their speed is about equal. However, they're currently speeding downwards in a low yo-yo. Whoever can pull off the smoothest ascent is the one who will reach second early. From going according to the arc here, I can only assume that Kurobuchi took a smoother arc, whereas Rika took a sharper arc. That might be better because I think you might have to slow down to get a smoother arc like that rather than a sharper arc. Kurobuchi sways slightly as she pulls up into an ascent, perhaps rocked by the sea breeze. Thanks to that, Rika's upper body is ahead of her. Was that an actual mistake, or was she trying to trick us? Be careful. Who knows what Kurobuchi's plotting right now? It'll only take a moment for her to pull any dirty tricks. By the time I notice, it'll be too late for me to help her. Rika keeps her lead as she approaches second. The distance between them isn't great. Kurobuchi can reach Rika if she stretches herself out. She could try and obviously Kurobuchi will probably lose at second, at the first buoy, but she might push Rika into it like she did previously with Asuka, I think it was. If this wasn't the start of the match, I'd order Rika to make a bigger gap. If Kurobuchi breaks rules and touches Rika now, Rika will be given a point for the violation, and Kurobuchi will be forced to jump to the second line. Rika would then touch the buoy, giving her 2 points total. Playing dirty to control her opponents might be what Kurobuchi does best, but even she won't give herself a 2-point handicap right off the bat. So then, what's she gonna do? I stare up at her.
部位にタッチします。
Okay. Uh-huh. That's what she wants. Damn it! There's a smile plastered on Kurobuchi's face. One she seemingly can't hold back. She raises up her upper body, dropping her speed. My heart shudders inside my chest. Flying squirrel, watch out! Naming techniques makes it easier to communicate over the radio, which is why I came up with that. It's the same technique she used to hurt Asuka, spreading out all her limbs to squash her up against the buoy. Yeah, that's what you would expect. I would have seen coming.
大丈夫です。
Rika twists her body horizontally as she uses her shoulder to throw her entire arm forward. Using your shoulder lets you reach further than you would normally, but it also ruins your form. This means you only save it for the last possible moment, and rarely use it outside of going for a buoy. Especially on the first line, where it completely kills your speed. Normally using it is unthinkable. Rika uses a recoil from the second to accelerate while straining her upper body to bend backward like a shrimp. Rika's back collides with Kurobuchi's chest. The recoil from that sends Kurobuchi backward and Rika down the second line.
まず1点です。
Good work, Rika. Breaking through the flying squirrel isn't all that hard. Flying squirrel is a technique designed to seal the shock from a collision inside a membrane, rather than spreading it out. To do so, you have to wedge your opponent between yourself and the buoy at the perfect time. If your opponent is fully focused on the buoy, you can pull it off, which means it's more effective if your opponent doesn't know about it. But both Rika and I witnessed Kurobuchi using that move on Asuka. Why wouldn't we come up with a countermeasure? All we need to do to avoid it is bump into Kurobuchi and mess up her timing. Though Rika may have just touched Kurobuchi, she did so after touching second, and that means the match is considered to have moved past the first line. Kurobuchi's eyes widen behind her long black hair. Huh? Kurobuchi is jumping to the third line instead of the second.
サードライン。ということは、そこでドッグファイトを挑んでくる。
Probably. Kurobuchi can't catch Rika on the second line, and even if she did, they're both speeders. It won't end up in a dogfight, but a scramble from buoy to buoy. I assume she came to the same conclusion. That's why she's waiting on the third line, ready to challenge Rika to a dogfight. Why is she so fixated on them despite being a speeder, you ask? Because the frantic movements allow her to pull off the pincer, like she did with Takafuji's students.
2点目です。
The moment Rika touches the third, Kurobuchi ascends on the third line. Then she shoots off like a rocket in Rika's direction. It's a Suishida. This technique is supposed to drive an opponent toward the water. Dodge it. There's no need for us to play along.
絶対に逃がさない。絶対一緒に落ちてもらうから。
Kurobuchi falls fast, chasing after Rika as she attempts to escape. Holy shit. Sorry, that confuses me now. So, whenever I read something like this, holy shit, fuck, you know, swears, things like that, I always make me think, what are they trying to say in Japanese? So, the Japanese umai has two main meanings. Just to make sure I have it all correct, because I don't want to screw myself over with this. Ah, come on. I know of two. One is deliciousness, which is obviously not correct here. The other one is for good, skillful. So you have it here right now. Skillful, good, clever, good, successful, splendid. So I can only assume that holy shit thing is in astonishment, in like you're surprised that it was so good, that was such a well can't find the right word I'm trying to look for, but that it was well performed in a sense. So yeah, this Suishida is perfect, and she even managed to change direction. I had a feeling before, but now I'm convinced. Yeah, that holy shit is really does not match it to me. Kurobuchi really is. There's no point running. Slow your speed and pin her down. Kurobuchi comes hurtling into Rika from above. The anti-gravitons from Rika's shoes send water flying in all directions. I can hear the sound of gritting teeth through my headset. Rika!
大丈夫です。この展開はマシロちゃんとアスカさんと何度もやりました。対応できます。
Rika seems to spring off the water surface as she nimbly fixes her form, then starts flying parallel to it. Kurobuchi is above you and to the right. In theory, what Rika wants to do is fly in the opposite direction to gain some distance. However, Rika is below Kurobuchi, and Kurobuchi is moving right toward her. This is a scramble for control. Trying to get away will give Kurobuchi the idea that we're afraid of her. We turn over control of the match. And so, Rika flies toward Kurobuchi, the gap between them rapidly closing.
さっちゃんに怖くないって伝えます。楽しいって伝えます。
Rika charges headfirst.
自分から来るだなんてバカな子。シャー
I wouldn't really say that was what "sha" is, but sure. A grating sound echoes from Kurobuchi's mouth as she flies toward Rika. There's an audible crash as the two collide. Seeing Rika trying to get behind her, Kurobuchi charges forward to block her path. It's coming. But if I say something now, I might just get in Rika's way. What am I saying? There's no need for me to interfere. Rika knows this far better than me. She's learned through experience. Again, she's just making us sound like So, got you is not technically correct, but yeah. Kurobuchi's white eyes are bloodshot, almost as if she's casting a red light themselves. Here it comes. Come on, do it. Kasumi leans so far forward that it's like she's entrusting her body to the wind. I wonder if she's showing off a new move that both of them don't know about. Almost makes you want to reach out and catch her. A long serpent suddenly extends to each side of Rika's head. Those are Kurobuchi's arms, stretched out to surround Rika. It's a pincer, a dirty trick designed to make your opponent faint. Rika nimbly lurches forward, pressing her own face against Kurobuchi's right arm. That alone makes Kurobuchi's plan crumble. The two of them are shot off balance at the exact same moment. Using her feet, Kurobuchi's long legs cut through the air as she stretches them towards Rika, still trying to reach her. Rika's right reaches out an arm and touches reaches Kasumi's right leg. Why are you saying Kasumi all of a sudden? He's been saying Kurobuchi, and all of a sudden he's saying Kasumi. Okay. I'm just making sure, like, it's just so weird all of a sudden. Let me just see how the Japanese does that. I actually don't know what her name is in Japanese and how it's read. Kuro, I know Kurobuchi, Kasumi is like that, okay. Kasumi, yeah, there's Kasumi there. Kurobuchi. Okay, I don't know why they do that, even the Japanese. It's so weird. And back to Kurobuchi, okay. Kurobuchi keeps on reaching out, but Rika repels limb after limb. Breaking through a pincer is simple. When you're touched on two sides of the membrane at once, the shock has nowhere to go, so it concentrates in the middle. But you can avoid that outcome by touching your opponent first. If both arms are stretched out towards you, just touch the right arm. That alone is enough to turn things back to normal. Really, the referee should have called foul play for Kurobuchi's attacks. But Rika's defense is so perfect that he hasn't had the chance. Or wait, maybe he can't even tell that she's playing dirty because of how well Rika's doing. I'm sure she's got a plan for this because she's probably not the first person to counter the pincer. Kasumi backs off slowly. The path to fourth opens up, as if Kurobuchi recognized her loss. What does she have up her sleeve? She just keeps falling back in silence. Why would she abandon the path towards next buoy when she's a speeder? And now she's planning on throwing the match, so... Agreed. It's too obvious. Should we challenge her to a dogfight instead? And we'll find that out how that goes next time. It's going a bit longer than I thought, and my throat is killing me, unfortunately. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'd love to see how this goes on and see how this continues, but yeah, we'll have to do that next time. It's looking good. I'm quite enjoying it. So far, I can't really say kind of what I expected. I didn't really go into this expecting anything drastic or of non-importance. So, expected a good fight, getting a good fight. It's all good. I'm a bit confused, not disappointed or angry, but confused with the subtitles and even the Japanese today. It was a bit weird. I guess the Japanese one is mainly about the change between Kasumi and Kurobuchi. It's like, why? It's so out of place and confusing. And obviously with the English, it's the normal. It's understandable why they would choose certain words here and there. Some of it's not. I mean, sure. But there are like a few that are a bit, I don't know why, like the holy shit thing and the reset go thing, like, yeah, it's minor, but as you probably know, that's how I am, so yeah. Yeah, that is it for now. I'm looking to see how this will progress. I kind of did expect how this episode would go, with the intermission, the little break before it, and then the match. So next time I'm expecting the match to be a little bit longer still. Still probably about another 15 to 25 minutes of a fight still, I'm guessing. I'm guessing maybe about 3 episodes left to go on the route. That is if I'm assuming that this tournament is the main attraction, the main part of the series for her. We're still going to have a little bit of an epilogue with Kurobuchi and things like that, so I'm assuming there's still a bit to go. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But yeah, that'll be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please know what you thought. I'll see you all next time.